If you're the one in your life holding everything together for everybody else, what does Spirit want us to know? Are you gripping something tightly right now? You're trying to fix it, you're trying to force it, control it, and it's just exhausting you? Spirit wants you to know there's another way through. Welcome back to Dear Guides. Today, Lisa Williams, my beautiful friend, and I are going to ask our spirit guides to share the messages you need to hear right now about letting go, about surrendering that thing that you've been trying to hold on to and trying to control. And stick around to the end. I'll be guiding you through a handed over meditation. This is going to help you release that one thing that you've been trying so hard to control. And you're going to feel instant relief at the end of this meditation and clear guidance and inner wisdom on how to completely surrender. So welcome back to Dear Guides,
Yay!
Lisa. Welcome
Thanks
back.
for having me.
You have these incredible guides that you work with, and they're Ben, Anu,
yep,
and
Josiah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these guides are going to come through for us today to teach us wisdom and surrender and talk about how to let go. Anyone out there that's watching, you've been holding on to something because you pressed play on this video.
We've all done this.
I have. I mean, you know, it's interesting. This is a really valuable conversation for me today because I'm at this precipice of this one story, this old story that's just been up for so many years. It's understandable because we have these core wounds. They create beliefs.
Yep.
Those beliefs create patterns, and those patterns create our reality. How can we undo these patterns? And that's what Spirit's going to talk to us about today.
We struggle because it's our mind. Our mind wants to hold on to them. But I think sometimes when we just allow ourselves just to be, then we're going to be shown the way. But it's a struggle. The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. So our guides are going to help us today. And I already feel my guides being like, Gabby.
I can feel them.
Yeah. So would you like to invoke the guides for us today into this room?
Let's invite them in. So I'm going to ask for our guides, our spirit guides, our angels, maybe our loved ones to come forward and help us connect from this world to the next. We ask for the information and the guidance to come through clearly and concisely and accurately for those who are listening, to offer support and love and wisdom for all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wisdom I want everyone to walk away with from this video today is, one, what it is that they want to release, because you may not know, you may know, I guess you probably do know, that thing that you've been holding on to, that pattern, that belief, that behavior, that relationship, that core belief. Really, I'd love to work with those core beliefs that we've been carrying around for as long as we can remember, and really experience the surrender in this dialogue through my meditation, through Lisa's channeled wisdom and her personalized wisdom, but also really get it not just in a physical and a visceral way, but also in a practical way, how we can live the art of surrender and letting go of the things that we're trying to control. So I'd love to tap into our guides today. Lisa, you have so much wisdom personally on this as well, but dear guides, how do we let go of that thing we're trying to control?
Well, let's see what they want to come through with, because I feel as though I've done my own lot of lessons in this over the years. Let's see where they want to go with this. It is the choice of whether you choose to fight it or surrender. But surrender you overthink. Surrender is often overthought because we think there's a lot more that goes into it. And yet there isn't. It's the mind that then acts upon that information. And as you surrender, which really isn't letting go, what you're doing is you're becoming more in alignment with your true self and knowing that this does not serve you anymore. It's your mind that wants to fight it. So it's separating the mind and the soul and then finding that space and that gap in order to breathe. And when you can breathe between the soul and the mind, then you can see the way.
The gap. Talk to me about the gap.
The gap is relevant. The gap creates space. It creates the pause. It creates the breath.
Yes.
In order for you to then find that focus, that point that you can go with. The soul is crying out for one thing. The mind is keeping you stuck in another. But when you separate the two, there's the breath.
Let me say that again. The soul is pulling you towards what you really are called towards.
Yeah.
The mind is keeping you stuck. When you separate the two, there is the gap, the breath.
The breath.
Yeah. Beautiful. Excellent.
And as you're in the breath and as you're in the gap, what you can then do is then find that balance of the harmony of the two. And it's actually untraining the mind.
Yes.
That's all it is. It's untraining the mind and finding that pause. And as Lisa, I'm sitting here and going, that's brilliant.
Yes.
But it's like, and you're seeing this gap, and then the soul can just come in gently and come in and support. And it's a gentle supporting.
Yeah.
It's the mind that rushes and pushes and finds the urgency. But as you allow your soul to just gently guide you, that breath then that pause becomes bigger, it becomes easier, and the mind just drifts because there's new pathways that are going to unfold.
So it's about getting in the gap.
It is about getting in the gap.
Yeah. That is such a profoundly spiritual message. When we can tease out the separation from our spiritual knowing that I'm meant to be free from this, I'm meant to live with ease, I'm meant to be in love, I'm meant to be in the frequency of joy and ease. And then the human core wound of, but this is such an ingrained story and it's been with me for so many decades and I'm so stuck in it. When we can tease that out and find our way into the gap, that's actually when things start to unfold naturally. Right. That's when we're given the guidance and the wisdom on how to heal the core wound. And it's also when we're given the miraculous shift in perception that the spiritual realm wants to provide us. And the other thing that I have felt for years as a spiritual student is that the prayer, as of course in Miracles says, a prayer is a medium for miracles. And so when we pray, we get into the gap, because through prayer we can temporarily suspend those core beliefs that keep us so hooked into the world, and we can return to the spiritual knowing that there is more. They're saying to me right now that you can live in an embodiment of prayer. That all throughout the day, you can give it over. And it's not giving up, it's giving it over. And in that giving it over, you get into the gap. So this is really merging these two things right here. So your guides are saying that in that gap, the resolutions are developed.
It all unfolds.
It unfolds.
It unfolds because what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the solution to the surrendering.
Yes.
What's going to happen? How's it going to happen? How is it all going to be?
So good, yeah.
Right? We're trying to find the next step, but sometimes we don't know the next step. And what we have to do is we have to have the breath. Because the soul already knows, the soul already trusts. The soul's almost like, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, really, can't you just tell us what's going on? And the mind just needs to know. And while we're figuring this out, there's just that pause. And then that's where everything can grow. That's where the beauty lies. And when we allow the mind to stop racing, forcing, controlling, then we can now surrender. And just as Lisa here, I remember having a moment of being in the darkest place of my life, the darkest place. And they're taking me to remembering this. And I remember sitting on this beach in Thailand and actually saying, what am I going to do now? And people are going to think I'm absolutely batshit crazy right now. But I had this thing that came out of the sky and it looked like I wrote it down. And I have it tattooed on me. And it was, in Sanskrit, surrender to the divine.
Yes.
And that's all it is. And that divine is not necessarily something you have to worship. The divine is self.
Yes, that's right.
The divine is self. And it's knowing that breath. It's trusting in that wisdom. And it's trusting in that intuitive space. And trusting in that breath. And that's where the power is.
It's so cool how you're describing this right now. People that are watching, they've heard spiritual teachers say over and over and over again, spiritual surrender, turn it over, let it go. And sometimes when someone says, let it go, you want to be like, you. Right. But that's because we are stuck in the practical of the how, the why, the what if, or what will happen.
Yep.
But when we take away the how, the why, the when, the what if, and we just accept, full acceptance, that we don't have the answers.
Right.
That our plan isn't the better plan. That the outcome that we think we need may not be the right outcome.
Exactly.
Then it makes it a lot easier to let ourselves off the hook and actually give it over.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to also add on to that. If your next thought starts with a what, why, when, where, how, and who, stop.
Yes.
Because that's the brain wanting to understand it.
Yep.
But when we do that, and it is in that acceptance, what we can do then is, if you get rid of those 6 questions, now what you're doing is you're going, okay, I got to accept. I got to let go. I got to pause. Because I think that's the key here.
Yeah.
And it's what you said, it's that acceptance of that moment.
And acceptance, it's a shift in perception. And that's what A Course in Miracles says is the miracle. The miracle is the shift in our perception. So if we have the perception that surrender and letting go is hard, I don't know how, what will happen, I will lose it all, that surrender means I'm giving up, that I don't know how, or I can't let go, or it's not safe to let go, all of that is keeping us stuck in the holding on. If we even just right now in this moment, just decide that surrender isn't giving up, but it's just giving over, that our plans may not be the right plan, that the when and the how is kind of irrelevant, and that the more we let go, the more intuitive wisdom we receive. That type of shift, that this surrender idea is actually something that's softer, easier, more gentle, and lets me off the hook.
Exactly.
If you can accept that right now, people, that miraculous shift inside of you actually opens the door for the possibility of true surrender. When we stop trying to force the outcome or the solution, what actually happens energetically?
Well, energetically, our body shifts.
Yes.
Everything shifts. Our energy shifts, our vibrations shift, our aura shifts, our chakra shifts. Everything shifts. And we've all had it where people have said, hey, you look different, or you feel different, or what's going on with you? And it's just because you have just...
I felt that about you today.
Let go.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that about you as well.
Definitely. We're both in very different places.
Very
when we were
different
last
places.
Together. Yeah. Yeah.
And that we've just let go.
Yeah.
And I think when you can let go, you're allowing spirit to guide you. You're allowing this spirit. I often have spirit-led days.
Yes, let's talk about a spirit-led day.
I love my spirit-led days. I literally will get up, and if I've got nothing planned, I'm like, what does spirit want me to do? Oh, I'm going to get coffee. I don't drink coffee. I'm going to go and get coffee. Oh, sure, I'm going to go and get coffee. Before I know it, I'm talking to somebody at the coffee shop, and they're like, you needed to be there. Okay, I get in my car. All right, where do you want me to go? I want you to go home. Oh, well, that's boring. Okay, what do you want me to do? I want you to read this book. Suddenly I see this passage. I love my spirit-led days. I touch so many different people. I get so many pearls of wisdom. It's taken me on so many different avenues.
I really love this idea that we can live a spirit-led day every day. I have my daily design method where I wake up in the morning and I'll say, who would you have me be today? What would you have me receive today? What would you have me give today? And design my day for me. Design my day. And that also lends us back to that beautiful affirmation from A Course in Miracles. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? And then I often add, what would you have me wear?
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Yeah. What should I wear?
What would you have me wear? But letting ourselves live a spirit-led day.
Yeah.
Waking up and saying, where do you want me to go?
Yeah. And I think that's being of service, and that's real, true surrender. That's real, true surrender.
Yeah. Try that out, everybody. I want you to take the next 24 hours, starting right now, actually. I'm not going to let you wait. And just start asking Spirit, where would you have me go? What would you have me say? What would you have me do? And show me what's up. Show me where to go. And just be in that throughout the day, every minute. Where would you have me go? I'm going to do the rest of my day.
Why not?
I got a schedule, but within that schedule, I can do it. We can do it within the schedule. But every day should be a spirit-led day.
It should be. I mean, we still
it's
have
a practice.
It is a practice.
Yes.
You know, and it is a practice. But I think even if you have confines, because I can almost feel the resistance. There's the resistance of, oh, but I have to be a mom. I have to be a wife. I have to be a spouse. I have to be this. I have to be that. Well, but you're going to have a moment to breathe. What is it? What do you need in that moment?
Yes.
There's
Because
the spirit.
When we don't ask that question and we don't invoke spirit to guide our day, we get in the way.
All the time.
We start playing God. We start controlling. We start pushing, manipulating, making things happen. Why is it that holding on to that core fear sometimes can feel safer than letting it go?
Our brain is wired for safety. Our brain is wired to keep us safe on what we already know. And so therefore we are in that place, and yet we know it's wrong. There's an internal indicator that says this is wrong, but I can't move away from it. So in that breathing space of knowing, oh, I've just got to breathe and I've got to surrender, that's where the fear kicks in, because the brain now doesn't go, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And
the brain wants something to do.
The brain wants something to do. And what I'm being told here is that you actually have to pause. You actually have to default and stop. So when you start getting yourself into the fear, and it reminds me of something that happened in my life, that when you get into that fear and you start in that panic, that sting, that moment, that real, you have to just pivot. And if I may share something here, it's deeply personal, but I found out my husband was cheating at one point. And you met my husband, you know, he's a great guy. And when he told me, I went into that immediate fear, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Da, 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 da. So in that moment of me finding, and it was with a best friend.
With your best friend?
With my best friend.
Whoa.
And it had happened before we got married. And I found out after I got married. Okay, so it was a very raw state, and she happened to be a bridesmaid at my wedding.
Wow.
So this was the ultimate betrayal. And I'm still with him. And our marriage is the best that we've ever had. But in that moment of fear, as those questions were rising, those thoughts were going, and my mind was going, what, where, why, when, how, who, all of these things, even though he'd shared everything. The one thing I turned to is every time that thought came, is I just went, I can only imagine. And I just started to sing that song. And all it did was trigger me out of the actual what, where, why, when, how, who.
Yep.
The panic, the fear, the I'm not good enough, the self-sabotage, the everything. And I think I sang that song probably 100 times in the first week.
Yep.
I can only imagine. And I sat in the shower and I rocked and I cried and I sang it and sang it. And what it did is I realized how important it was to come back to my truth. And it was as I came back to my truth, I came back to his truth. And I came back to his love, and I came back to my love, and I came back to our space. Yeah. And that's what built our relationship. And so the fear that we get trapped in is stories. We get trapped in old stories, old thoughts of shoulda, woulda, coulda, need to. And reality is we don't need to do anything. We have to just be.
What you shared, first of all, thank you for sharing such a vulnerable, authentic story that I know will help a lot of people listening. What I want to offer everyone now to just take from your experience is, what is your song? What is your prayer? What is your offering up? It could be a mantra. It could be, take this from me, a prayer. Just thank you, God, for taking this from me. Thank you, Spirit, for taking this from me and showing me where to go and what to do. It could be a lyric from a song. It could be, for me, I often just really keep it simple. And I'm like, help. Yeah. Help me. I have had many moments in my life where I've just out loud said, help me. Yesterday, I had one. You know, I'm hitting a bottom. I hit a bottom yesterday with this old pattern and an old belief system where it not only was affecting me, but it started affecting other people. Right. And in harmful ways. And I took care of my side of the street right away. And then I was just in shame all day. And all I could do is just keep saying, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. And what happened ultimately was that I started to feel a little lighter, and then I'd feel like I was cooking dinner and it would come back in and I'd replay the whole scene of what happened and I'd say, help me. And then I'd come back in the middle of the night when I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, replaying the scene of how ashamed I was of my behavior. Help me. And the more I stayed in it, the more that self-forgiveness started to set in, the more that I didn't get overwhelmed and overcome, the more that I didn't start trying to fix it, right? Like we get into like, let me just make it even more messy.
Yep.
I just stayed in the help me. And so I want to offer that to everyone listening as you open up to your own practice of letting go. What is your prayer? Is it a song like what Lisa so beautifully shared? Is it a lyric that you sing? Is it a just simple help me? Offering it up. Take this from me. Show me where to go and what to do. I love that message from A Course in Miracles. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and to whom? Or just show me what miracles I may perform today.
Yeah.
Just giving it over. Because that prayer, that pause, that interrupt is what puts us in the gap.
Completely. And we need that. And I think that that simple mantra of help me, because that is a mantra and it gives us that moment to breathe and that pause. Because when we're asking for help, we can't hear anything else.
Louise Hayes here now.
I felt
did you feel her too? Yeah. So Louise is here and she's saying, well, this is what I've been talking about, guys. You know, Louise is the queen of affirmation.
Of course.
And her affirmations were, this is something she really wants me to say. So she's saying, my affirmations were not to override the real experience. My affirmations were to create the pause to put you in the gap and to give you the necessary attunement and attitudinal shift to open up your consciousness to feel spiritual intervention. And she's super loud and clear. So she's not, so when you use affirmation, this is Louise, when you use affirmations, it's not about overriding your belief. It's not about canceling out your experience. It's not about just replacing it with another story. It's about feeling a new vibration.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that she came in. And I think that when we're feeling that vibration, I want people to also realize that can also be scary too.
Yes.
That can be scary because it's the unknown. Now you're like, oh, I'm feeling something. What is that? And again, that is the moment that you breathe and you let that be. Whether we call it surrender, but you've got to let that be.
You have to let it be. That's right. You have to say the affirmation, say the prayer, repeat the mantra, sing the lyric, and then let it be. Then let it be. If you're the one in your life holding everything together for everybody else, what does Spirit want us to know?
You're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
You're doing an amazing job. And that you can fall onto Spirit. You can fall onto your ancestors. You can fall onto the wisdom. And that little voice in your head is not you going crazy. It's the voice of them talking to you. And that you don't have to hold it so perfectly. It's allowed to fall, and you can have a moment of tears, softness, surrender, crying, napping, whatever you want to do. But you're doing the beautiful job. And I want to say thank you.
So nice. Oh, it's so beautiful.
I know. Right?
Also, there's this message too of other people have guides too. So if you're holding it together for everybody else, just ask their guides to help out.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that in an argument. Can you?
Yeah, step in here. I keep hearing the serenity prayer.
Oh,
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God, did Bill Wilson channel some great stuff there.
Unbelievable.
And you've channeled Bill.
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I'm sober now.
Yes.
It was all because of you. You know, may I share the story? It was really interesting because I was telling you about what I was doing, and I'd got a glass of wine. And you actually said, how's that going for you? And you looked at my glass of wine and I went, huh. And I realized then that it was just not serving me. And that was the last time I had a glass of wine, and I was sitting in your company. And now I've been sober 3.5 years, and it really, every time I tell the story, your name comes up, and it's the thing that's changed my life, and it's allowed me to surrender even more into life.
Yeah.
And realizing that life is actually happening for me and it's not against me.
Beautiful.
And it's remarkable. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your courage.
Yeah,
to do that as the leader that you're here to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I think that one of my purposes in this lifetime is to definitely help people get sober, but also real thought leaders and people that are here for high purpose. My friend Elena Brower is another example. It's a very similar conversation I had with her. I said, if you're getting high, how can you be in service of the light?
Right.
And she's been sober ever since that day.
Yeah, I love
and so
that.
it's sometimes just having that question, that curiosity of, is this for me?
Yeah.
And so that's a perfect example of surrender, right? It was a moment where you witnessed this thing, it's not at my highest and best.
Right.
And you made a choice. So surrender requires choice. It does. I do believe that no one would be watching this conversation right now if they weren't already in the inquiry and the curiosity of that choice.
I agree. And I think choice is very important, because what it does is it gives that person the autonomy to decide of what suits me, not because I'm being told by society or social media or my friends, what is it for me? And then when they can go into that, then they're going to find their calling. That's what I was just being shown, is that it's all about their calling. And if we want to go back to Bill Wilson, there is that depth of calling for him. You know, when I channeled him, we can go into that moment where he had that true calling. And when I sat at that table in Stepping Stones and I channeled his energy and the big book and the 12 steps, he was really being called of service.
Yes.
And that's what it was. You know,
can we talk to Bill today? I wonder if he wants to come through.
Oh my
because
gosh,
I'm
I
feeling
would love
him.
to. I feel him.
So right now, as I'm writing this new book, it's called Unshakable Faith, and it's going to be. It's not about addiction, but it's about spiritual surrender and spiritual trust. But it's feeling to me like it has the capacity to be, and it will be, a spiritual 12-step guide in the sense, and not hearkening to the 12 steps, but that type of impact, I believe. And I feel Bill's presence coming through me. And next to my desk, I have this stack of these little books, and there's As Bill Sees It, there's the big book, there's the 12 steps, there's all these different guides, like those, people have written all those guides that are just for today kind of messages. They're all like Hazelden books. They're all next to my desk where I'm writing. And these are books that I picked up when I was in my early 20s. I had a very dear friend in AA who was a very powerful young woman who was sober. She got sober at 19. She was in her early 20s. She was one of the women that really made me want to be clean and sober. And her name was Lauren. And about a few years into knowing Lauren, she actually died. She had a heart condition, and she died running. And I was able to go into her apartment and after her family had been there, and take her books, like take whatever I wanted, really, like what would be serving. And I took hundreds of books out of her apartment and gave a lot of them away, actually. But I also have them all next to my desk. They're just right there. And so as I'm writing this, I feel like Lauren's there. I feel like Bill's there. Bill's been top of mind. I want, who better to talk about surrender with today?
I know.
Welcome, Bill Wilson. If you're new to this, if you're not familiar with the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill Wilson was one of the scribe. You know, he was a human who made the commitment to get sober, but he was one of the channels that received the messages of the 12 steps.
And what was interesting about Bill is he was a devout spiritualist.
Yes.
And he used to table tip, and he had his own little seance room, and he loved spirituality, and this is what he really enjoyed. And one of the things about Bill, as you were talking, he reminded me, and in actually one of my books, I've actually written a message from Bill, which I'm happily share with everybody. And he talked about how there was going to be another step or more steps, and it was spiritual steps. As you were talking, no, seriously, as you were talking, I could hear him saying, "There's my 12 steps," and I'm like, so Gabby, I want you to know that this is, and I'm not blowing smoke, you know I wouldn't, but this is him coming forward with absolute prayer and reverence here. Because this is about enlightenment, okay? And as I feel him coming in, this is about enlightenment. This is about wisdom. You all this is wisdom that has already been taught, but it now needs to be reframed in a very different way that people get it, for more younger people.
You got it. You're nailing it.
This is not just about, I've got chills. This is not just about alcohol anymore.
Yes,
This is about TV. This is about sex, this is about social media, this is about shopping, this is about everything, because we are now in an addictive society in order to escape, but now it needs to become more relevant. And he's just said, I'm old. I resonate for the older generation. There now needs to be a younger generation that can resonate, and it also needs to be in a feminine power too. And this is where it serves humanity.
That's right. And it's called Unshakable Faith, 11 Steps to Spiritual Trust. And I don't know if that's the exact subtitle yet, but the steps are not specific to addiction, though they can be the antidote to addiction. But they're there's 11 steps to creating your own spiritual foundation and faith and trust in the universe. And the thing is, they're very simple and they're very practical. And they're absolutely channeled because I'm actually living them. So each step is being given to me as I live life. So I'm on step 5 now, and they just keep being presented to me as I live, because they're also healing me as I write them.
Right.
Yeah. And it feels, there's a part of me that feels a little bit like, who the f- are you to say that you're going to write the next 12 steps? But then there's that I hear him being like, just own it.
Right. And why aren't you?
Yeah, like, why not?
And this is why I actually feel him here. And
it's not about me.
I have channeled Bill many times. I work with a really big historian of AA, and I've channeled Bill on so many occasions. Bill, Lois, I've channeled them all. And I feel him. And the thing is going back to what you said, how simple these steps are. People want to overcomplicate things. And so they think it has to be hard if they're not doing it. But reality is it is so simple, and we just want to overcomplicate. And it goes back to the mind again in that surrender. When we actually separate it, we've got that pause and that breath, and that is how simple it can be.
That's exactly right. Because when we have a trust and a simple path that feels not even, effortless, but just like directed. Like, okay, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know, it's just like blah, blah, blah. And that it's guided. That's the way. Because when we talk about surrender, one of the biggest things that people get hung up on is when someone says, oh, let it go. You don't know how.
Right.
When Bill showed us through the 12 steps as addicts who couldn't release an addiction, here are the 12 steps. It healed millions and millions and millions of people throughout the world, myself included.
And continues to do it.
And continues to have that ripple effect. And then the thing that I'd been saying for 20 years of sobriety is, wow, I really wish there was a 12 step for people who don't identify as addicts, people who don't qualify for being in those rooms, right? The only qualification is a desire to stop drinking or using your substance of choice. But not everybody has that desire or thinks that that's the problem, but they still have problems. So as we close the show, I want to lead everyone through a meditation. And this is a meditation to hand over that thing that you're trying to control. But also I'm gonna tee you up for your spiritually led day. Let's do this together. So gently close your eyes and roll your shoulders back. Take a deep breath in and release. Relax your jaw. Relax your stomach. Relax your face. Breathe in deeply. And exhale completely. Take that thing that you've been trying to control, or that core belief that you want to just let go of, or the addictive pattern that you're ready to finally release, or the relationship that's been holding you back, whatever it is that is keeping you in the loop, keeping you stuck. And that feeling and that belief that's top of mind, I want you to open your mind and your heart to release it today. We call on our guides and our angels of the highest truth and compassion to enter into this meditation now, to create the space for us to get into the gap, that space between our human desire to control and our spiritual knowing that we are free. Take that thing that you've been holding on to and offer it up with a prayer now. Thank you, Spirit, for taking this from me, for releasing me of the bondage of my past and the obsession with the future, bringing me into this present moment right here, right now, in this blessed moment where I have my breath and breathe and feel your breath, breathing in deeply and exhale completely. Recognizing that right here in this moment, there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to fix. There's no need to control. Just breathe again into that space in your solar plexus, breathing into that space and let it go. Again, relaxing your face and your jaw and your shoulders and your neck and your arms. Relax your torso, relax your stomach, your gut, your pelvis, your legs, your feet. Just let it all settle into this present moment right now. Just repeating to yourself silently, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to fix. In this moment, all is well. All is well. And let's extend this moment now by inviting Spirit into the rest of your day. Each time you notice that fear arise or that control start to come up, just ask Spirit to show you where to go and what to do. Let yourself live a Spirit-led day today. Let this presence in this moment, this clarity and this serenity and this peace and this ease in this moment just be the energy that guides you throughout this day. Nowhere to go, nothing to fix and nothing to do. Take one last deep breath in and release. And smile. Feel the relief of what it feels like to be in the gap, to let it go. When you're ready, open your eyes to the room.
Wow.
They kept my eyes closed the whole time. Every time I open my eyes, I'd be like, close your eyes again. That was nice.
That was really good.
Doing it for myself.
Yeah.
You know, right after this interview, I have this huge thing that's this big call and something that I've been actually surrendering for years, 20 years. It's something I've been surrendering and here it is now. Like it's so interesting to see what it's like to live in the surrender of something when you know, that beautiful, I keep coming back to A Course in Miracles today, but that message of those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety.
Right.
So when you know and you have that wisdom and that certainty, you can really let go and trust. And it may be 20 years later that it happens. You might know that something's coming, but stay in that certainty and that knowing.
Yeah.
Lisa, what a great conversation.
That's
We talked to
amazing.
Bill Wilson. We talked to Louise. Hey,
I know.
We talked to your guides, my guides. I mean, wow, guys.
Amazing.
This is so good. So if you're watching and you love Lisa as much as I do, definitely check out her book, Survival of the Soul and Divine Wisdom. I'm going to link them in below the video and they're going to be in the description. And her intuitive oracle deck, her intuitive soul oracle deck. And these are beautiful cards. They're all in the description. And as always, my gift to you, my friends, is a guided meditation practice. I want you to feel this energy. You can have my free spirit guides meditation. It's at the link in the description, or you can go to deargabby.com/spirit guides. I also want to let my members know, my Gabby coaching members, that I'm going to take the meditation from this and I'm going to put it in your app so that you can listen to it and practice it all the time. That meditation I just gave is now yours inside your app, and you can hand it over anytime you want, anytime you need it. If you're not a Gabby coaching member and you want to have me as your coach in your pocket for a year for like the cost of what one regular coaching session would be with one human, you can join me at deargabby.com/app. And I just love you guys. I'm proud of you. It's just amazing to be with you. I want you to stick around for the miracles. If you love this episode and you love my conversations with my beautiful friends and mediums, please subscribe to the channel so you never miss a show, and share this episode with a friend who needs to let something go. Maybe a friend that's struggling with addiction, maybe a friend that's holding on so tightly to something they just cannot release. Send it off to them. Share that with them today. And most importantly, I want you to remember that being here, watching this video all the way to the end, means that you are committed in this lifetime to showing up with a spiritual connection, to being part of the solution, and to being part of a very soulful community and family that we have here at Dear Guides. I love you so much. Have a blessed day. If you liked this episode, then you're going to love my video with Lisa on how to ride the momentum of this energetic shift in 2026. Check it out.